The impact of nationalism. What role did nationalism play in unifying Italy and Germany in the 1800s? In the early 1840s, most European nations were ruled by monarchies. King Louis Philippe sat on the throne of France, and Tsar Nicholas I ruled over Russia. The Ottoman Empire controlled Turkey and much of what are now the Balkan nations, as well as parts of the Middle East and North Africa. The Austrian Empire dominated much of the continent, including Central and Southern Europe, large portions of what are now Germany and Italy. Although neither Germans nor Italians could claim a nation of their own during this era, by the late 1840s, both peoples were on the verge of revolutions that would eventually propel them out of the Austrian Empire and allow them to create their own nations. These revolutions were inspired by nationalism, which was rapidly spreading through Europe. Nationalism is a feeling of devotion and loyalty that develops among people who share a language, history, and culture. A revolution in France in 1848 also influenced the German and Italian uprisings. When Louis Philippe became king in 1830, he enacted policies that favored the French upper classes and hurt the workers and peasants. In 1848, the people revolted and overthrew Louis Philippe. Later that year, Napoleon III was elected president of France. For the Italians, the 1848 uprisings began not among the territories ruled by the Austrian Empire, but in Sicily, where the king was forced to accept a constitution. In Rome, uprisings caused the Pope, who had power over the city, to flee. Then in the Kingdom of Sardinia, Italian nationalists united in a military effort to force Austrians from the Italian states. These first revolutionary efforts, under the leadership of the Italian nationalist Giuseppe Mazzini, would prove unsuccessful. But eventually, under the combined leadership of two more Italian nationalists, Camillo di Cavour and Giuseppe Garibaldi, Italy was unified in 1861 and became its own nation. For Germans, feelings of nationalism culminated in 1848 with protests that demanded independence from the Austrian Empire and also from French domination. In the northern German state of Prussia, fighting broke out in the streets. Austria refused to release its grip on the German states. The revolution failed, but its nationalist ideas remained. In the 1860s, Prussian Prime Minister Otto von Bismarck devised a plan to create a unified Germany. Bismarck strengthened the Prussian army and in 1866 attacked and defeated Austria in the Austro-Prussian War. With Austria out of the picture, the northern German states were unified as the North German Confederation under Prussia's leadership. Bismarck next targeted France. The southern German states joined Bismarck's forces, and together they won a quick victory in the Franco-Prussian War. Afterward, they agreed to unite permanently. In 1871, the dreams of many Germans were realized with the unification of the states and the founding of the German Empire. In the following years, nationalism continued to play a powerful role in European politics. In 1914, a Serbian nationalist assassinated Austrian Archduke Francis Ferdinand, precipitating World War I. In the early 1990s, Serbs, Croats, and other ethnic groups on Europe's Balkan Peninsula clashed over nationalist ambitions. Today, the spirit of nationalism continues to have an impact on people and governments throughout the world. Even though nationalistic feelings have led to war, they can also bring people together through a sense of unity, loyalty, and purpose. What impact did nationalism have on Europe during the 1800s?